Hello and welcome to the Equestrian Mums Club podcast. We're your hosts, Sophie Conway and Katie Allen Clark, both avid equestrians and recent first-time mums. Join us and a herd of other guests as we discuss the wild ride of parenthood and horse care together. Now it's time to take up the reins and walk on into our next episode.
Welcome everybody to another Equestrian Mums Club podcast. This is very exciting. Today we have another guest, and it is a very timely guest because we've just launched a partnership with eRiders, and who better to tell us more about that and more about eRiders than Susie Baughan, CEO, founder, the one, the only equestrian business maven for eRiders. So Susie, I've not introduced you to my best capacity, I don't think, but is there anything that you would like to tell people about you, where you live, how many kids you've got, what you do in your spare time? Ha ha.
Spare time. So we live in Thetford. We moved here in December 2020, just after all the COVID nonsense, and 10 days before I had my first baby.
Wow.
We yeah, I was pregnant through COVID, and we needed to move house. And yeah, it took a bit longer than we'd expected it to. And yeah, 10 days. She was actually due on Christmas Day, and we moved on the 4th of December. And then she came on the 15th of December. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, move 100 miles away from all your friends and family with a few days till you have your first child. And
Why did you move there?
why not move to Thetford?
Is it lovely?
Yeah, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We were living in Essex, and we were in like a semi-detached bungalow, living in Essex, going into work like London every day, and I think working from home kind of just proved that that's not really what life's all about for me.
I think that happened to a lot of people, to be honest, Susie.
What were you doing before, like when you were working in London?
I was an oil broker.
This is something I did not know about you, but very interesting because my husband is an oil broker.
Oh, is he?
He is, yes. So you've got something in common. Lucky you.
It wasn't. It's a very, I don't know, not my kind of lifestyle.
Very full on, and not very horse.
Yeah, not very horsey either. No, not at all. Although it did mean that I was going down the stables at like 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Well, no, later than that, 7, 8 p.m. So I kind of missed the whole yard dramas, which was ideal. Not ideal for my sleep, no, or my life, my social life, exactly.
Not ideal for your sleep though, or your social life.
Yeah, I do. And we run a shepherd's hut, so people come and stay and bring their horses and go riding over in the forest and stuff.
How amazing! How does everyone find that to book it?
So it's called Forest Edge Retreat in Thetford, and we've got a Facebook page and Instagram and a website.
Katie, I can feel a little trip coming on, a little Equestrian Mums Club trip.
I'm just really intrigued because you're running this alongside eRiders, and what gave you the idea to start running that? Was it already there when you moved, or is it a new thing?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't already here. We set it all up ourselves. We put the shepherd's hut there, put the brand new stables in, did all the fencing and stuff. But I mean, we were literally directly opposite Thetford Forest. It's literally just across the road. So the riding is fantastic. You don't have to do any road work. Well, you literally just cross the road. And you're in Thetford Forest, so the riding is fantastic. And yeah, it was just a case of we were both working, and so it was a case of leaving your jobs where you're employed and you've got money coming in to go into just running eRiders. It was a case of I needed something as a bit of extra backup, I guess.
That's so awesome. And let's talk about e-riders a little bit then. So how did that idea come about? When did you properly launch e-riders? Tell us a bit more about that story.
So it was actually, it's a funny story. It's actually, I used to run something called Ride for Research back in like, I don't know, 2014, I think 2016 maybe, I think it was. And it was literally just like a charity ride. I was going to organise it for some friends, to help a friend's mum raise some money for cancer research. And I thought, why just keep it to my friends and like local people? Why not let everybody do like Race for Life, but horsey version? So I set it up so that everyone can do it wherever they liked, and it kind of spiraled into a huge event. And I got a few people as sponsors and stuff on board, and one of the sponsors was a company called Hay Grazer. And I got friendly with the lady who ran Hay Grazer. We did a few events together, like Ride for Research and Hay Grazer. And then she said that she set up this e-riders online dressage thing. And I mean, this was good few years back now, like over 10 years ago. And I was like, cool. Online dressage, I'd never heard of it before, and I was like, online dressage, okay, like why not just go out to a show? And yeah, so she sent it, and she was sending me all these links and like what to do and all this, and I thought, oh, I'll have a go. So I had a go, and she then a few weeks later she was like, oh well, instead of doing so much with Ride for Research, she said, why don't you run e-riders for me? So I took it over, and I had like got not research, well I guess researching as such, looking into it all and what you could do and all the rosettes and stuff, and I was like, actually this is quite cool. So I started it up, and when I took it over from her, she had like 40 entries a month. And it quickly, I remember the very first results day with like 40 entries, and in trying to put all the test sheets in the right envelopes with all the right rosettes and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? And then it just kind of spiraled from there, really. We got to a few hundred entries, and I think before COVID it was about 400, 500 entries. And I'd always said to my partner, I was like, when we get to 1,000 entries, then can I quit work? Can I just do that instead? We were like, yeah, 1,000 entries, yeah, right. Anyway, in COVID, we actually hit over 2,000 entries. Obviously, from where nobody could go out competing and stuff, everybody kind of turned to this new fandangled online dressage that they'd not ever tried before. Because horsey people do not like to try new things.
I don't know about that. I'm quite excited about. I'm really excited about doing this. And actually, talking of e-riders, I am currently just about to enter the Equestrian Mums Club one, our class.
Yay!
I know, but what do I enter? Do I enter 1B, 2B, or 3B? And what do they mean, Susie?
1B is intro, 2 is prelim, 3B
Yeah.
is novice. I should.
Right. I've entered.
Good, you've highlighted that. We've just changed over to the new website. So it's like little things like this actually, where when it shows up on your end, it doesn't show the intro prelims, right?
No, it just says 1B, 2B, 3B. I've entered, everyone.
What did you enter?
1B. No, 2B, sorry, 2B. I can canter.
Prelim.
I can canter. I just, I think I'm not quite there with the novice yet.
Cool.
It's so great, Susie, the whole thing. And I think it opens, it's just a level playing field for everybody that doesn't necessarily have money.
It is, yeah. And I mean, well, I think there's a lot of people who compete online. I originally thought, oh, it will just be people who can't travel, don't have transport, etc. But actually, there's so many reasons why people do it. Illnesses, for one example, people who can't spend a whole day out and about. It means that they can still get the chance to compete. You've got people who don't have a trailer, or it is too costly to hire a trailer or horse box or get travel, they can still do it. I mean, we've got quite a few riders actually that are actually BD, like affiliated BD riders, higher levels, but use it to practice, brush up on some test riding, but also for the rosettes and prizes, I guess. We've got some pretty cool prizes you can win. So, which you don't tend to get out and about so much anymore.
It's actually a really good excuse to go out and get some lessons, and like it's so nice to have something to aim towards, because that's what I struggle with.
Absolutely, and we have a lot of instructors as well, actually, who use it for multiple clients. So, if you mention it to your instructor, she'll probably say, "Oh yeah, I'll film it for you," and then you've got someone to film as well, because that's another, like, one of the struggles, obviously, is having somebody to film for you if you don't have a tripod or a pivot or something like that. So if you're going to go and have a lesson, your instructor can film it for you, and then when you get your test sheet back and your next lesson or next month or whichever, whenever you have your lessons, they can go through the sheet with you, and actually work on what's on the sheet as well.
Susie, I've got a question for you. How many countries are you getting entries from at the moment? Is this like a worldwide phenomenon now?
It is worldwide. It absolutely is worldwide. And I think it's over 10 countries. We've had somebody from Egypt before entering, and you can literally see, like, I'm sure it's Egypt, with the pyramids in the background.
Correct.
But all over the world, absolutely. America. I'm just trying to find the picture where I put up how many. 21 countries last year took part.
That's so awesome. Like, really awesome.
That's amazing.
I guess as well, it means that, like, if you go out and compete at your local venue, you're probably competing against the same people month in, month out, really. Obviously, it will vary, but you're only going to compete against people within a certain radius of that venue.
Yeah.
And the same with judges as well. You're only going to be judged by judges who travel to that venue.
Yeah. Do you know what, as well? I find dressage, especially when you're competing, quite intimidating.
Yeah.
When I go.
Yeah.
Like a competition, and like I love having dressage lessons. I love watching dressage, but to actually go out and compete at it, I seize up a little bit, and I get like competition nerves. The
warm up ring sometimes isn't the friendliest, is it?
No,
warm up rings can be a bit daunting.
Yeah, and also because I've got an ex-racehorse, I think like he's never ever going to look like the sparkly dressage horses that are out there, and he's never going to look as impressive. Whereas show jumping and eventing, you can turn up with anything, and it could be better than the one before or after. Turn up riding anything.
Yeah.
And dressage, I do think that in general, you don't see as many ex-racers, you don't see as many ponies. It's more, your posh warm bloods and whatever. And I just think
that's probably changing now.
Yeah, I think it is. And but I do think that stuff like e-riders is helping to change it, which is great. And I think it's amazing. And that's why we've teamed up with you, because obviously,
as you know, I just said, I think with the online dressage, I think it helps people who wouldn't normally have a go. Like you say, it is quite daunting, especially if you've never done it. I mean, people say, "Oh, my horse doesn't do dressage."
Exactly.
If you can school, if you ride, you can do a dressage test. If you can walk and trot, you can get round an intro, learn your circle sizes, and know where your markers are.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you can walk and trot, you can get through a dressage test. Dressage itself isn't some fancy movement. It's just walk and trot at intro, and just walk, trot, and canter in prelims.
Yeah, you make it sound so simple, Susie. It's not not that simple. I think I overthink dressage. So why the reason that obviously we've teamed up with you is because we know, and you know, how difficult it is to plan and get out to a competition when you've got kids. And I know you've got 2. We've only got 1. So how?
Yeah, I've not been out for a very long time.
Well, I was going to ask you, when was the last time you competed yourself, like out and about?
Summer last year, I think. I think I did what did I last do? Was it dressage? It was over at Anvil Park up near me. A long time ago, a long time ago. I've taken Neve's pony out since. They went to
Have you?
Yeah, they went to a Halloween show, fancy dress and like little poles on the floor. I've been out to like a few arena hires and stuff. And I ride over the forest quite a bit because I do guided hacks for people who come and stay. But I've not actually been to a show for a very long time.
But it's not easy, is it?
No, not at all.
When you've got kids and work, it's just not easy. Katie, you know that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite daunted, to be honest. I've not taken my youngster out at all since I've had him because I very unhandily managed to get myself pregnant the month after I bought him. So we've not been anywhere really since.
Katie, when you say youngster, I genuinely thought you meant Rafe, not Leo.
Talk about your kid.
I was like, you've got to take him out. He needs to see the world.
For clarity, listeners, I did not buy my child. No, I birthed him from my very own body. But Leo, my horse, I bought him as a just turned 4-year-old, and I had all these great plans of doing things with him in his sort of 5th year. And then I managed to have a baby instead, which has meant that we've not seen much of the world, we've not been out at all. And so I'm actually I'm quite nervous now, actually, like to get out and about with him. I think once he's not lame, we're gonna give the e-riders tests a go. I mean, I'm not sure we'll manage canter, I'm gonna be honest. So intro it is for us.
Like I say, if you can walk and start and do a circle, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's probably not a circle either.
Stopping is important.
Susie, can we ask a little bit more about your family? Because I feel like we're talking quite a lot about your work, but
Very important, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it's nice to know a little bit more about you. So you've got 2 kiddies, is that right?
Do, yes. Neve, who is now 3. She was 3 in December, and Rory, who is 1.5. What's that? 16, 18 months? 18 months, I think he is. August he was born. You stop counting how many months they are, especially with the second one. I still think he's 1. It's almost 2.
And how did you feel when you got pregnant with Neve? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Were you a combination of all the things? Like, what was it like getting pregnant first time?
I guess I'd say a combination of all of them. I was very excited, and we were trying for children, so it was a very exciting time. And I guess because of it was in lockdown that we found out we were pregnant, so there weren't any shows to go to. So I guess I didn't think of that side of things too much, really. My horse is now 11, and I've had him since he was 1. So I did quite a lot with him before I was pregnant. But I wasn't affiliated or anything. I didn't kind of do too much. I just kind of did stuff for fun. So yeah, I guess that side of things, I never really thought about, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, or I'm not going to be able to do that. Because yeah, and obviously then when we moved, and I was pregnant when we moved, and then had Neve, and it was like the forest was on our doorstep, and I couldn't wait to get back on and go riding and like hacking out over through the forest. So yeah, I got back on quite quickly, I think. after I'd had her, to go and explore the forest, but nothing too strenuous. I wasn't getting back out competing or anything like that.
And did you, Susie, now that Neve is riding and she's got a pony,
Yes.
does that, like, I mean, that's something that I am so excited about. Is that something that you feel? I don't know how to phrase this. Do you feel like you pushed her into it, or did she want to do it?
No, not at all. I got the pony. Actually, this is her. Sounds bad. This is her second pony. Her first pony is actually out on loan. Because she was a little bit too highly strung. She was a Palomino Section A, and I thought, oh my god, it's beautiful. Lovely Barbie pony for my little girl. No, she was a bit too eye bulgy, a little bit too skittish for any child to ride. So she's gone out on loan. She's doing really well, actually, to be fair. She's being ridden and stuff now, so that's really good. But at the time, I was pregnant with Rory as well, and I didn't have the time, or it wasn't safe enough for me to be doing work with her.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't want Neve to do things with her. I just didn't trust her, and it wasn't safe enough to not be worried about.
Yeah.
So she went on loan, and I've got a little spotted pony. Who's called Freckles, who's very, very cute. So I needed another pony anyway, as a companion for Apollo. So I don't feel like I've pushed her into it. They were kind of there, and she absolutely adores them, both of them.
Does she? Does she love it?
She does, yeah.
Yeah, as much as you.
Yeah, more. I think she rides more than me somehow. She'll be riding in the rain, and I'll be like, "Should we go in now?" And she's like, "No, it's okay. We can get wet in the rain. It's fine."
And how about Rory? How does he interact with them? Is he interested yet, or is he just not bothered?
He is now. So he's got to a point now where he copies absolutely everything that Neve does. So literally, like, just after he turned 1, a few months after that, he copies everything that she does. He used to be really scared of the horses. You'd like hold him up to them, and he literally, you could see him go like, ooh, like lean backwards as if to want to get away. And yeah, he really didn't like them to begin with. But now he loves them. His favourite word, or his only word he can say at the moment, is higher. So he waves. The horses are at ours. So every time we go to the car, you can see them in the field or the stables and stuff. And he wanders out and hiya, hiya. He goes waving at the ponies as we go past. So, and he also wants to ride them now as well, because Neve rides them. Yeah, it's quite fun taking a pony and 2 children. Luckily, my other half comes with me as well. Alex comes with me, and I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. God. And they swap over.
Your other half, is he horsey, or is this just your thing?
No, he's not. He puts up with them. He quite enjoys them. I think he secretly likes them. He will bring them in and put them out for me, if I'm not here. But that's about as far as it goes.
I think the test is, can he put a head collar on?
He can, and I've quite a few times as well where like the horses have got out around the garden and stuff, and yeah, he comes and he'll help me herd them back into their stables, or put their head collars on or whatever. So I had a bit of a heart-wrenching moment earlier on, actually, because I came back from, we'd been to a drama tots class with the kids, and it was raining this morning, so I put hay over their doors, and we went off this drama tots class. And I came back and put the kids indoors. As I went back to the car, I noticed Freckles' door was open, and I was like, what? Like, why is her door open? I came back straight away. I opened the door. I said to Alex, like, where's Freckles? I said, have you put her out in the field? He went, no, I've not. Like, why would I do that? I was like, oh my God. Because our gates had been open as well from where we'd been out. I was thinking, oh my God, like, I've lost the pony. She's going to have done a runner, or she could be anywhere. And I ran over to the stables, and she was literally just behind my stables, like round by the shepherd's hut. So thank God for that. She must have literally just got out, but I don't know how she managed to do it. But like, I'm definitely going to go and buy some clips now to put on the doors. heart attack moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
why can I imagine you running around in the rain?
Yeah, that was but he did when he said that, he didn't just go, "Oh, meh," like pony's got out. He did run out with me and like try and look for this pony that I thought might have gone running off down the road. But yeah, she was still here, thank God.
That's amazing. And the fear.
Um, that could have been a goodbye freckles moment. Oh, that would have been terrible. Um, so do you obviously you've got 2 businesses on the go.
Yeah.
You've got 2 energetic children that also are loving the outdoors life. You've got a partner who might not love it but is part of it. How do you manage on a day-to-day basis? We need to know. How does your day run?
I guess prioritizing things I think helps quite a lot. I want to do everything. Late nights, yeah, absolutely late nights. My day kind of starts once the kids gone to bed. Work wise, I guess. But yeah, I kind of if I'd say probably when Neve was born, I wanted to do everything as best as I could, all the time. And I think I got myself quite stressed out about it. And like you say, like late nights and stuff came into play, and you just don't function as well. But I think you have to realise that actually things can wait. When I had Rory, I think I was a lot more laid back with everything in life, really. Um, there's always another day. There's always tomorrow. If you can't get it done today, get it done tomorrow instead. As long as the kids are fed, and the horses are fed, and your partner's fed, then everything else kind of comes later. And I think that's quite important, really, for people with new babies and stuff, and with horses. You want to do everything the best you can all the time. You can't. You just can't do it. But as long as the most important things are done, then everything else can come later.
I totally agree with that. I think it's we were on a podcast the other day with someone, and she said that if you can't get it done or you don't want to do it, put it in the fuck it bucket.
Too right, and try again tomorrow.
It is my favourite new saying, and I think I'm going to try and spread this as far and wide as possible. And you've basically just given us the same sentiment. So thank you, Susie. So I've got a question for you. When do you sleep?
Well, between like 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and then Rory wakes up for a bit, and then a bit more maybe. Yeah, no. To be fair, he's a lot better at sleeping now. When he was little, he was a nightmare. And it was a case of he just came into the bed with me because that was the only way I could actually sleep.
Yeah.
Whereas Neve, if she woke up in the night, I used to sit up with her and like pat her back until she went back to sleep and stay up for hours on end. And then with Rory, I was just like, no, I just need some sleep because I know that like tomorrow we'll need to function. Like Neve wants to get up and do things and stuff's got to be done. So it's a case of literally just whatever made him sleep. And he was quite cuddly, so.
Oh, yeah, well, I sleep with Olive, and everyone says, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. You're making your bed and blah blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, but at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't care."
Yeah, you do what you need to do.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Absolutely. You know what though? Rory actually sleeps really well in his own bed now.
Well, exactly, and I just think I do think that it will sort itself out eventually. I don't think I'll have a 10-year-old that I sleep in bed with. You know what I mean? I didn't know that you worked in London for that many years before and commuted in and everything. And
Yeah, I worked there for quite a few years.
it's quite. How do you? I mean, I know that your kids are obviously having an amazing upbringing, but is there anything that you miss about that life before? Like,
I guess. No, basically is the answer no. I don't I miss the idea of, you know, going into work, I guess, and the drink side of it after work and like the social side of it. But I think I'd do it for a day or two and then be like, actually, this is really not me.
Yeah.
I'd do it for a day, but I wouldn't go back to it, I don't think.
Yes.
Not for a good few years anyway, not while the kids are still kind of little or needing that, really.
Susie, I don't think you'll ever go back to it. I'm going to be honest.
No, I don't.
I'm going to be
No.
honest, I can't see that happening, you suddenly commuting into London for some reason.
No.
So I just want to, going back to e-riders, what's been your like standout, oh my goodness, I'm loving this moment with the online business?
Well, I guess when we moved, really. Well, it's because of e-riders that we moved here.
Really?
Yeah, because if I didn't have an online business, I wouldn't have been able to have left being so close to London.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you know, I didn't move here and then set it up. It was already set up, and it had to get to a certain point before obviously I could stop working in London and move. But if I'd have moved here and still been working in London, it would have been a bit of a commute. Obviously, hopefully my old employer is not listening to this.
That's so exciting though, to have finally had that moment, that sort of like, okay, I can go all in on this now, and
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done. I'm done.
And then, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that I want to do with it. I've got a lot more ideas, a lot more things, but like I say, because we moved and then had needs straight, like as soon as we'd moved, with a newborn child, it was kind of a case of keeping it going and not. We didn't. What's the kind of word I'm trying to say? Yeah, I was just kind of keeping it running, really. Yeah, like just surviving, I guess. But I've got so many, like I say, new ideas and things to do that now the kids are a little bit older. They're going to nursery now as well. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Gives me a few more hours to try and crack on and do some stuff. And with the new website as well, that should also help a lot. It'll mean that I can put my time into more advertising stuff, more like partnerships and new ideas, and yeah, growing it a bit more now, I think.
That's amazing. Yeah, rather than adminning, which obviously when you're starting a baby business, you do a lot of adminning, don't you?
Yeah, and I think I did it for longer than I needed to. I remember a conversation I had with my dad a few years back, and he's quite like a techie minded person, and he was like, "Why do you not just, like you can get the computer to do this for you?" And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." I was like, I do it because I want to do it. Like I like to see who's entered. I like to make sure their videos are like correct, and I like to, like it was my baby, and I liked to make sure that everything was running correctly, and to put that trust into a computer system. I think I held on to it for a long time. Yeah, and even now I'm like, I've got this like lovely sparkly new system that does everything for me, and I'm like, I still want to see, like, I still what is, yeah, I just still want to do everything.
The curse of the mum, the curse of the equestrian mum. You need to be all over everything all the time. So we usually end each episode asking mums a question, but the question I'm going to ask you, Susie, is what are your top 5 tips for people entering an e-riders test? Because I'm sure you get the same errors each time. So tell us, what do people need to do to make sure they get a good mark?
My first one is going to be to make sure you know your test. And even if you think you know your test, watch back your video against the test before you submit it, because it is such a common error, where people will miss out a circle. Or the worst thing you can do is to miss out a change of rein, because then you're riding the whole or come up the centre line and turn left instead of right, and then you'll ride the whole test on the wrong rein, and that's just it. That's not going to get you any marks. But yeah, a lot of people lose a lot of marks and think, oh, why was my score so low? And then when you look back at your test sheet and you realise you've missed the whole movement, it makes a big difference to your score. If you're doing it in real life, obviously the judge can ring the bell, but online they can't ring the bell. You've got no second chance. So your second chance is that you can watch it back before you submit it, and make sure as you're reading through the test, and make sure that you've done everything
as per the test.
As per the test, exactly. Number 2, I would say check your tack. If you're entering the league classes, they're all run under the BD tack rules. So no bit keepers, no illegal bits. So make sure you've got like your snaffle in. Even if you've got a gag, make sure and it's on the snaffle ring. That's not allowed. If it's a gag or any kind of bit like that, it's just not allowed. No martingales, no fluffy nose bands, and no bit keepers. I think I said that. Those kind of things. Check your tack. And gloves. Don't forget your gloves. That was I never ride in gloves. That was something I always forgot when I ever did it. Always wear your gloves, because otherwise you'll get 2 marks deducted straight off the bat. Have fun, I think, is a big one. You're only competing against yourself at the end of the day. You don't know where anybody else is in their dressage journey. So it's as much as we all like to compete and be placed in a class and get your rosettes, which is obviously that is what it's about, but it is also about your own journey, and you improving along the way. So as long as you're having fun and you're enjoying it, and you and your horse are, you know what you're working on, and as long, how many is that? 3, 4?
3.
Oh, another one that's quite important is don't leave it to the last minute. I think people think, oh, the longer I leave it, the better I'll be. Next week I'll be better than I am this week, right? But if next week there's a storm, as you know, the UK weather is not very reliable. Your school's frozen, your horse has thrown a shoe, or lame, or you're ill, or there's so many different reasons that you don't even think of why people end up not being able to film. Get one, even if you want to do it again at the end of the month because you think you can do it better. Just get one done, get one filmed at the beginning of the month, so you've got one recorded and ready to submit if you can't do it when you want to do it, because otherwise you'll miss out. And number 5 is, Alex says, look after the people that are filming, because they're the ones that are standing in the cold and the wind filming for you, and then you do it wrong and you go, oh, sorry, we've got to start again, and their hands are blue because they're freezing cold, and they actually play a big part in the whole online dressage thing. I mean, we couldn't do it without the filmers, right? Oh, I do have one more thing, actually. Make it easy for the judge to judge you. Make sure that you can be seen on your video. If you can only film in the dark with lights on, then make sure your horse is wearing white boots, or something like that. Because if the judge is trying to judge you, you're on a dark horse down the dark end of the arena, it's just not, you're not going to get the scores that you probably could have done if the judge could actually see what you're doing.
I think I'd get a better score in the dark. I know I would.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the judges can only judge what they can see. So yeah, I think that is one to take into consideration when filming your test.
So do it in the dark, guys.
Do it in the dark.
Oh, Susie, that's so useful, actually. Thank you. Do you know what? Do we have to wear competition clothes?
Nope. Just try and steer clear of the strappy tops and shorts.
We'll try not to do that in February.
Trainers.
Yeah.
Trainers, no hat, martingale.
Good.
But no, you don't have to wear competition gear. Everyone loves a bit of matchy-matchy. normal riding clothes.
Yeah.
This has been such a good chat, Susie. I could literally talk to you forever because it's just so much fun. But I think we're going to call it this episode here. But in case anybody here is listening, the E-Riders Equestrian Mums Club competitions and tests are available right now on the E-Riders website, which we'll link to in the show notes and on our socials. We are running a competition every other month in 2024, aren't we, Susie? So we're starting with February and then going through April, June, etc., etc. So make sure to get entering, because I literally can't wait to see who we're up against, and I can't wait to see Sophie excited about recording her dressage test in the dark. This has been absolutely incredible, and we're really looking forward to the rest of 2024 with E-Riders. So yeah, thanks so much, and listeners, get entering. We'll see you on the very next episode.
Thanks for listening to another episode from the Equestrian Mums Club. It's been great to have you along for the ride. We've been your hosts, Sophie Conway and Katie Allen Clark. Make sure you hit the follow button to hear more from us as we dig deeper into the world of ponies and parenthood. Until next time, stay smiling, stay safe, and try and stay on.